Right, well, on the road, heading up to Peterborough, going to fish Teakettle this weekend. I was in two minds whether to head there or go to local club water, but Teakettle's been fishing reasonably well recently, so I'm going to head up there, have a good look around both lakes before I decide where to go. But yeah, so it's Friday, 13th of September. So yeah, up there I'm planning on a couple of nights, but we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you updated when I get there. Well, I've got the rods out. I got down here a lot later than what I wanted. Hit a lot of traffic on the A1. Inevitable on a Friday, unfortunately. But I've got into a swim that I've fished once before. Swim Peg 12, basically. So yeah, I've got the rods out. Had a bit of a nightmare. Cracked off a spod. Another one of those wonderful air bomb things broke on me. But I've got the rods out. Two out there at about 80 yards, fishing over. I did manage to get some bait out. I'm on the sweet amino boilies, and then another one down this margin, just sort of around this reed bed there somewhere. Just got little sticks on all rods, bottom baits, and a little stinky pink pop up as per normal. So got a few bits sort of laying around at the moment, so I'm going to get sorted. Wind's picked up, it's actually swung around, blowing straight at me now, which is a result. So I'm just going to have to get the house up, have something to eat, and see what the evening brings. There's been a few fish showing, so yeah, fingers crossed. Oh, good morning. What time is it now? About 7 o'clock in the morning. So, screaming take off my middle rod. It's going to be the second fish of the session. I had one last night. 18.5 pound, I think it was. About 11:30 yesterday evening. That's on the left hand rod. That's good to get bites off. A couple of different rods. This one was over bait, this one's over the sweet amino, and the other one was fishing probably about 10 yards off the baited area with the new GS1 hook baits. Stinky pink pop up, little 10 miller. Basically my standard go to slip D rig. As well. Little stick of crushed sweet amino, and also crush up some pop-ups in it as well, and then a load of juice. Lovely. Right, don't look too bad. Okay, so get the mat and everything sorted out. And we'll see about getting him sorted out. Well, I know it was a bit bigger than the last one, but it's £29.12. Can't argue with that. It's my biggest one out of here. I thought it was going to do the 30, but no, just a little bit under. Not that I'm complaining. Oh. Quick look at the other side. There we go. Oh. Yeah, 29.12. Well, there you go. Not long to put that 29 back. I've managed to get my 2 spoms that I lost yesterday. Lucky enough they'd come into the margin just to my just to the right of the swim. So put a little bit more bait out, just boilies, not using anything else. There's a lot of small fish in here, roach, rudd, etc. And then if they move in on you, then unfortunately the pike, they obviously start moving in on the smaller fish. So yeah, so I just put out only a couple of spoms. Well, I use that air bomb thing, so it actually sprays the bait out. Excuse me. So yeah, rods are back out. Put fresh sticks on the left hand one as well. Haven't touched the right hand rod yet. That's down the right hand margin. Not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. They do get in close down them reeds, but yeah, we just have to wait and see. It's only what time is it? Oh, it's 8:30 now. But yeah, just have to see what the rest of the morning brings. Like I said earlier, I'm just using my standard sort of slip D rigs with just little sticks. So they're all made up, ready to go, sharpened hook. And then I've got one of the new GS1 bottom baits and a little stinky pink 10mm pop-up. I used that last time I was down here. I did a tutorial down here with a chap called Shane, and I'd done the Friday night prior to him turning up on the Saturday, and I had 4 takes all on the same. So I've got utmost confidence in the method that I use on here. It seems to work. There's not much weed out there now. That the weed that is out there is dead anyway. So fishing helicopter rigs, top bead probably 6 inches up from the lead, so that can go into the dead weed, and then the little stick in the snowman will sit on top of that. That's the idea anyway. Stick mix wise, all I use now is literally just crumbed up sweet amino boilies, which it's just caught so many fish this year. No, my dad was given it in March, I think it was April, to try when he went to Home Fen. I think he had 5 out on that. I've used it since the spring, and well, I've just caught numerous fish. I took it to Rainbow with me. The fish that I had, that was on the sweet amino. The sessions that I've had on the club waters, where I've had reasonable hits, again, all on this sweet amino. It's definitely a bit special, this one. The guys who are using it now, they're just catching no end of fish on it. to the extent I don't think we can actually keep up with the orders that are coming in for it. I don't think we're pushing much of the other bait really. This sweet amino definitely seems to be the one that everyone's going for now. But it's testament to a good bait. It's caught a lot of fish. Numerous fish now over £50. I had one out of home fed a few weeks back, 51. That was over the sweet amino with the new bottom baits.
What result? 4 fish in the session. I had a £30 bait earlier, and this one just went £51. Oh dear. Oh. Oh. Get a few of my side, please. Some yours, yeah. Oh. 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 Beautiful. Thank you.
Gary Spencer, he had a 53, I think it was, on it. So yeah, utmost confidence. Anyway, so my stick mix is literally ground up sweet amino, and then I've got some ground up pop-ups in it as well. I put the pop-ups in it just to say you get little bits sort of popping up to the surface, moving up and down in the water layer. It gives it that, not a massive amount of buoyancy on the stick, but you know, it's not going to fall as hard, if you want, as just if you had crumb boilie in it, for example. And then I've got some I put some chili powder, some chili flakes in with it as well, just to give it that extra little bit of a boost. And then I'll spray it up with the sweet amino spray, which obviously matches the bottom baits. And then before I cast it out, I got some of the sweet amino glug as well, and I dipped the whole lot into that. Yeah, works a treat. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But yeah, so I was thinking about having a move today. I just didn't feel at all confident last night really. There was fish showing when I first turned up, hence the reason I set up in here, but then it all went a bit quiet, so I wasn't sure. We had a bit of rain yesterday evening as well. But no, I had that first fish about 11:30 last night, as about 18.5, and then that 29, which I'll say it's the biggest one I've had out of here, so I'm more than happy with that. Yeah, 29.12. Hoping obviously it was going to go to 30, but can't deny my scales because I've just had them serviced by Ruben, so I know they're 100% bang on. But yeah, like I say, 8:30 in the morning now, 24 hours left. Happy with 2 of the areas. That right hand rod I may move, I'm not 100% sure yet, but we'll see.
Is it on, yeah?
Yep.
Well, there you go. Result of the recast on the left hand rod. First 30 out of the water, £33, pretty much bang on. Again, sweet amino stick with the GS1 and a stinky pink bottom bait. Stinky pink pop-up even. More than happy with that one. Hey, mister. Boom.
Well, that was a result. Wasn't expecting a fish of that size, that's for certain. Not that I'm complaining. Shut up, Toya. Stop it. Well, yeah, wasn't expecting that. Not that I'm complaining. £33 on the nose. Yeah. Really happy. Obviously that 29 was my biggest one, and then an hour and a half later, whatever it was, 33. That was on the left hand rod. That was the recast one. Again, just on a GS1 hook bait with a 10mm stinky pink pop up on a little stick. It's definitely working. But yeah, so the rods are back out. We just have to wait and see now. I'm still toying with what I'm going to do with the right hand rod. I may just put that on a single stick and put it out at distance again, because that's where I'm picking the fish up from. It happened the last time I was down here as well. So a few other guys have turned up, a couple have left. but it is busy down this end of the lake. However, the chaps who are around to the right, they've gone, so it gives me a bit more of an option of putting a rod out, which would be in front of them to a certain degree. But yeah, it's looking good for it. The sun's out. Obviously the depth of the water out there is only about 3 foot, so it should lend itself to having the fish up and on that at the moment. We'll just have to wait and see that the rods are out, and that's the main thing. Just having a little bit of a replay. I've just tied up, well, as you've seen, I've done my stick mix. I've got enough in there now for the night and probably a little while after that. But I'm going to put a pop up on one of the rods, probably on the right hand rod, a little bit later. And over the probably the last 2 years, I've really slimmed down the amount of different rigs that I use. You know, I had so many different varieties, different rigs. You end up complicating things. So literally, I've dropped to 3 rigs now for sort of boilie fishing, and that's my standard slip D, which I've got some sort of tied up baits on, sort of ready to go. You know, they've been documented enough recently, so don't really go through that. And then the bottom bait rig, which is the Ronnie style rig, spinner rig, whatever you want to call it. And then these are the new GS2 pop-ups. Amazing. I've done a tank test at home, and with the coating that's on it, it actually swells up. I'll see if I can overlay a picture of it. And yeah, but they've got like spices on them, orangey in colour, I suppose. But no, when that's in the water, and it reacts with the water and actually swells up, you get like a fur, I suppose, over the top of it. But it's just where all the layers that are, when they absorb water, they expand. Something totally different, never seen anything like it. So I want to give that a whirl. I had a fish on one of these last time I was down here, so yeah, give it a bash. I suppose a longish hook link, is that 10 inches I suppose, but with the weed that's out there, I'll critically balance the pop-up so that just slowly sinks down and sits on top of the weed. But yeah, that'll be going out a little bit later. But yeah, the third rig that I would use would be a choddy, but to be honest I don't use them very often. With the helicopter rigs, generally if I'm fishing over low lying weed, then I'm quite happy fishing with a stick, you know, over the top of that. But yeah, you know, my tackle box was absolutely full of different shapes and patterns of hooks. I use generally just one now, other than for my choddies, but they're the sort of medium curve hooks in size sort of 5s and 6s. They're Fox medium curves. They sharpen up really well, and yeah, I haven't had any problems with those at all. None opening up or anything. So you know, less complications when you're on the bank. I think makes you more efficient. You're not double questioning your rigs and bits and pieces. So yeah, just the 3 rigs in my armoury now. The sort of spinner Ronnie type rig, my slip D, and my choddy, which I don't use very often. Well, it's just coming up for 10 past 5 now. Nothing's occurred since this morning, since that bigger one I had. Been a few fish showing, however. I did recast my right hand rod out into open water, but I ended up bringing that back in and sticking it in the basically sticking it in the edge down the right hand side. Yeah, so my right hand rod now is just off them reeds there, only probably about 6 foot off it, about 3 foot deep there. I've just sprayed some boilies around it in the general area. I had a liner on that earlier, but I think that may have been pike in the edge. But no, and then my 2 rods are out, basically aiming for the swim opposite with the car in about 80 yards. One did show sort of a little bit further, sort of about that sort of distance there. Came clean out of the water, didn't look like a big fish. I was tempted to cast to it, but thought better of it. Well, good morning. Sunday morning. Oh, quiet. Surprisingly quiet. Unfortunately, I had 2 of my rods wiped out yesterday, so late afternoon with a fish trailing line. But thankfully I managed to get it in, treated the fish and got it back again. Yeah, so recast onto the spots, but no, nothing. No, it's surprisingly quiet because this wind now has turned and it's blown lovely into this, basically blown straight at me. But excuse me, no, nothing at all. Not even a bleep. I heard a couple of bites during the night from around the lake, or around this bay anyway. I'm not sure, I think one was from the far side and one was to my left. But no, nothing in front at all. But it's 6:30 in the morning now. I've got a couple of, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours left, I suppose, before I need to be off. Get home because I'm back on night shifts tonight, and hopefully I'll be out again next weekend. But no, I'll wait. If I see any fish show, then I've got some more sticks and some rigs made up ready. I'll just cast out to them, any showing fish. But no, surprisingly quiet considering I had them sort of 3 in, obviously the first, whatever that was, 12, 18 hours, something like that. I thought I was going to have a few more, but they've obviously moved off. It looks going to be a little bit more overcast today, and with the depth of the water out in front of me, whether they'll stay in this sort of shallower water, although currently there's not many deeper areas, so I think I've probably got as good a chance here. But yeah, I'm going to get the kettle on, make myself a cup of tea, and then slowly pack up. Can't complain of what I've had. 18, a 29 and a 33. Was not expecting that this weekend. So I'm going home happy bunny anyway. But if anything else happens in between now and then, I shall obviously keep you posted. Well, that's it. End of the session. Nothing else happened. Milked it as long as I could really before I packed up. It looked absolutely spot on for it where I was, but I'm guessing they must have moved off. Not a lot you can do when that happens other than move, but I was only going to be there for another hour or so there's no real point. But yeah, so just coming out to the gate now. Great session though, always love coming up here. To catch one of the bigger ones that was in the lake as well, always always helps. So I'm going home a happy bunny. Should be out hopefully again next weekend, and then I'm on my holidays for a fortnight, not back until sort of mid-October. But yeah, hopefully out next weekend. Not sure where yet, but give it a go somewhere. So until then, get out there and enjoy yourself, and remember, it's only fishing.